Hello and welcome to Enquire to Choir. My name is Eva and I'm here to help you, fellow choir people. You read the title of the video, so you know what the video is about. How not to give up on your choir. It's such a difficult topic. I don't even know that choir directors in my life talk about that in real life, not the digital world. So it's not easy for me to approach this topic, but I want to talk about it because I think we all feel sometimes that we want to give up as choir directors, especially when we're working with amateur choirs and non-professionals, where the psychology of working with people is a little bit more difficult. A few months ago, I did a video here on the channel that was titled How to Work with a Choir That Is Really Not Good. And you let me know that you struggle with your choirs and it's not always easy. It is not an easy thing to be a choir director in any case, but especially if you're struggling with your choir, if things take a really long time, if the choir sound is just not getting better. And I wanted to address this because ironically, I've come at the other end of that story because I've been a choir director whose one choir was particularly difficult to deal with. But the past year, 2023, was just unbelievable. Like the amount of development and progress and success I've had with the choir is astonishing, like really astonishing. So I wanted to talk about how to get through the tough times because I am actually very surprised that I've managed to do that because I remember how frustrated I was. I remember how difficult it was for me. And I'm not saying that there are no difficult times anymore. They are, but they're just different. When that whole progress and development happened, I was surprised because I always wanted it to happen. I always struggled and strived for it to happen. And I always trusted and hoped that it would happen. But then when the whole transformation happened, it was like, wow, this is actually, this was a real achievement. This was a thing that could happen in reality. It didn't happen by getting new singers. It didn't happen by losing the bad singers. No, every singer worked so much that the whole choir became better. So this is a story about how I didn't give up and my choir didn't give up and what that entailed and how not to give up and why you shouldn't. I know it's very easy to say, don't give up. I don't know your choir. I don't know what it sounds like. I don't know your expectations, honestly. I don't know if you're frustrated because you're not getting enough, in your opinion, or things are just not working. Usually the process is you hear the choir, you give them instructions, and then they try to do the things you instructed them to do. And sometimes it works better, sometimes it doesn't work. In less developed choirs, it turns out that you can give all the instructions you want, but you will not get the progress you expected. The first thing I would say is just be very realistic. I've told that here on the channel a few times. Be very realistic what the problems are. If you're doing a 4-voice part song with your choir and they're not able to sing a 2-part song, you're aiming too high. Just because you want something for your choir to do doesn't mean they will do it. It doesn't mean they're not trying hard enough or working hard enough. Maybe they're just not at that place where they can do the thing you want them to do. Be very realistic. What your choir cannot do, and get on their level, because often we get frustrated because we're not getting the things we want, but maybe we want the wrong things. Maybe we're just, reading the room too wrong. Maybe we are thinking of things we don't want to admit. They're not realistic. Just because some other choir sings that song doesn't mean you have to. Doesn't mean your choir should be able to sing that song. Choirs are different. People are different. Groups are different. Circumstances are different. Timing is different for everyone. So if you're bothered by your choir and frustrated because you're not getting from them the things you wanted to get, maybe the problem is you. Maybe the problem is your expectations. Set your expectation really realistically. It's better to go step by step. It's better to back down. It's better to regress a bit and to tidy up the elementary things than to just, be frustrated when things are not working. When it comes to choirs, I think we often, that's something that I had to talk to myself about. It's not about the performances, it's not about the choir sound. My biggest problem with that particular choir was the rehearsal. I had to repeat everything. It took us months to learn just one song because the methodology of the rehearsals was just not something that they could implement in their choir development. I had to teach them how to have a rehearsal. I had to teach them the basics. Of course, I didn't always have the patience to teach them the basics for the 100th time, but I had to do it. I had to, because I could recognize that there is a slight development every time. And I had to talk to myself and say, things take time. Just because I give them an instruction and they try to follow it doesn't mean things will work, firstly. And secondly, it doesn't mean if we make some progress at this rehearsal, that the second rehearsal after that would be the same. They may regress because stamina and progress is not linear. You have some ups, you have some downs. There are many downs. And oftentimes that there was a long period where everything sounded really bad. And I tried this way and this way and this way and this way. And I was just, ah. But the problem was, if I got frustrated and brought the frustration onto them, and I didn't want to do that. So I tried really step by step. The progress is not linear. And if things are not progressing the way you expect them, it doesn't mean it's not working, because in music, things take time. You can practice, and then someday, poof, it works. And it's not about practicing, today was the first good practice. No, it's the cumulative effect of all the practice and rehearsals. So if we're getting frustrated by the lack of progress, I don't think it's a complete lack of progress. It's just not seen yet. That said, maybe you're doing it wrong. I said that here on the channel many times. If you give an instruction and your choir follows it and things do not work, and then you say, do it better, do it better, do it again, do it again, do it again, and you get frustrated because things are not getting better, and you get angry. A lot of people told me here on the channel that their worst mistake as a choir director is to get frustrated, and they yell, and they even lost choir singers because of that. I am familiar with that. The problem is you're repeating the same thing. Change the language or give a different instruction. We have videos here on the channel that talk about tempo. You're too slow, be quicker, be faster, stay in tempo. Giving an instruction that says stay in tempo, it's not a very functional instruction, because nobody wants to be out of tempo, but they are out of tempo and they don't even realize it. So you have to be a really effective instructor. The instruction should be more functional. If you give them an instruction 10 times and you see that it's not effective and you get frustrated, that's understandable. But change the language. Try something different. Try something else. There is a new way. And before you get frustrated, try a new way. Just because they're not doing the thing right doesn't mean they are not able to do it right. In rational measures, the main conditions should be there. But when it comes to the choir sound, it just, it's not linear. We learned this so well and then there was a break. Why can't you remember the song? They don't remember. Just regress a bit and repeat the song, Music it's not a machine. We are not machines. We forget. People regress. So if you get frustrated and you want to give up, try a new way. And if you tried a new way and it didn't work, try a new way. I think I did that for 200 billion times, but it worked. It worked. And this takes me to the very, if not the most important thing in this whole process. You see that door? Leave your ego there at the door. I know we all want to be, choir directors. We want to, we're at the stage, we are conducting, we are, yes, it is very cool to be a choir director. but it is also very hard to be a choir director. And sometimes your choir has good performances, and sometimes you just want to. That is very natural. But you have to take it, and you cannot take it personally. If your choir sings bad, and then you get angry with them and say, "You sang so bad, why did you do that? We did that so many times. Why did you do that like this? Why were you so bad?" And I mean, did you want to be bad? You're standing right in front of them. If they sang badly, that has something to do with you. And if you get frustrated, "You're not good enough for me. I wanted something else." Excuse me, what? I mean, you get what you give. So leave your ego at the door. I had many bad performances. When a bad one happens, it hurts several times with the same choir. It's very painful. And I know people ask themselves, "Oh my God, what's happening to Eva? She used to be such a good choir director, and now it's like terrible. She doesn't know what she's doing." I know people sometimes thought that and still think that, but that's why the door is there, to leave my ego at the door. Step by step, instruction by instruction, song by song, performance by performance, we will get there. And we did. I cannot express how far my choir, this particular choir, has come. I am not exaggerating when I say that we got from being laughed at to being on national television on Wednesday. And nobody thought that we would get there, but we did. And it wasn't linear. And it wasn't just my effort. It was my choir's effort. They have been there for every rehearsal. They have stood there for everything. They tried, they improved, million rehearsals, million instructions, 100 songs, and we managed to get there. And the best thing is, it's not by accident, because I can feel that the progress is at the rehearsals, because I don't have to repeat things anymore. I don't have to give the same instruction 100 times. They understand my instructions now. They have the language, they have the knowledge, they have the experience, they have the stamina, they have the consciousness when it comes to the choir. Many people would have given up. I didn't, because I love them. I believe in them. That is my duty as a choir director. I never saw myself as someone who is separate from them. I always saw myself as one of them. Their success is my success. My failure is their failure. So it's important to think that way. If you're thinking about your choir that you're better than them, then please leave that choir, because you're not good enough for them. You're working with people. So how not to give up on your choir? Do not give up on your choir. Have faith that someday, at some point, things will be better. And you know what? I was so surprised when that happened. It happened in September. I had a rehearsal with that choir and I was like, what? And then I was leaving. I was going home and I thought, maybe that's a coincidence, because there are those kinds of rehearsals. I will see what happens next time. And then the next time it was the same. It became obvious that we made a huge breakthrough. I wasn't happy because we finally got there. I was happy because we all did that. We've all been trying. We've all been, going step by step. And now it's something we deserve, something the choir worked for. It's not a coincidence. It's not good luck. It's not new singers. It's the same singers, but we've managed to have a breakthrough. And when we had that breakthrough, I had to change all of my work with them. I had to change the plan. I had to change the ambition. I had to pump it up because, suddenly I had to plan the rehearsals completely differently. But I remember when that was happening, I remember thinking that I will do a video for the channel about this because it's important. If you are a choir director, being there for the whole process is something that is very, very fruitful for you as a choir director. It says something about you. It gives you something that not many other people have. If you're feeling, like they're not respecting you, if you're not being respected by your choir, then that's a different thing. Okay, I'm just talking about the progress of the choir. I wanted to do a pep talk, but this turned out to be a lecture, but I stand by it. I think it's important. Don't give up on yourself for them, and use the whole frustration to just try to find new methods, new instructions, new ways, new ideas, and it will pay off eventually. For me, it took 7 years. 7 years. We worked really hard, and now it's amazing. So yeah, it's the journey, but it is also the destination, you know. Okay, thank you for watching. You can subscribe if you wish to see me yelling at you more. I'm just kidding. I'm not yelling. I'm just, giving hope, I hope. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Good luck. Let me know how it goes. Conduct well, conductors, and I'll see you next time. Bye.